for the Golden Bachelor.
You know it.
Yeah, well, we're a little behind, but it's never too late to talk about pickleball, is it?
It's never too late to talk about pickleball, Latifa, and it's never too late for love. That's what the Golden Bachelor has
More
taught us.
importantly, more importantly, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so, wait, which episode? Sorry, for clarification, episode for pickleball is episode
4.
4.
Yes. Yes, it
Uh,
is. That's where we are.
I'm gonna
Um,
be honest here.
still starting with the drama with Teresa, though. I think that's where the episode still began,
Yeah, Teresa just immediately does the thing that everyone to ask her very politely not to no longer do, and she goes, "Oh, I hear it, I hear it. So let me tell you about our date." It's
I
like,
she really, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I could not believe that. And then Trisha. So I had mentioned, have not watched The Bachelor, but please trust, I do remember Trisha because this was a moment of culture for
what
sure.
happened? Was there some drama?
No, she was just the first bachelorette.
Ah,
So she's iconic, and she's still married to the man that she met on the show, which has to be a record,
yeah, I know. No
you
one sits
know.
nowadays, so
I mean, just based purely on time and how time works.
yeah.
It's the record because she's the first one. But also just in general, I don't think anyone is I don't know. Again, not an expert on the franchise. But yes, that was fun.
Mhm.
Um, and then Leslie, who forever for me will be Prince's girlfriend, she seems, so stoked to go on the one-on-one date. She's just like beside herself.
Yeah. Wait, so did the one-on-one date did they announce that before they played pickleball?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. I think we just saw pickleball kind of in the ads and the upcoming scenes, but
Hmm.
I believe it did kick off. They sort of have that morning, I think it's in the morning, sort of cocktail hour where he comes in and announces who he's going to be taking on.
Gotcha. And is this when they did the ATV?
Yes. Yes.
Ah.
Yes. So I think on all my notes, I'm struggling to see. Oh yeah, that came after. So it was announced first, but
Mhm.
all the pickleball stuff came before that.
No, that's what I was wondering. Okay, okay, good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Krista comes in and she's like, guess what? You guys are going to go play pickleball, and the winner gets to be on this like Pickleball magazine. And they're, Ellen, who you have in the background, is excited, right?
She is, yeah, pickleball. I just am fascinated by pickleball culture. Living in a community of a lot of elders around here, pickleball is big time business.
All the rage.
Um, it's a way of life. And clearly, it is Ellen's full identity in her retirement.
For
That's
sure.
how she identifies herself.
I kind of felt like they gave her an unfair advantage with the other ladies. It wasn't fair.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, how is she not going to win this?
It
So,
wouldn't matter back in the community. If she came back and didn't succeed, she was out. You can't be a captain and not win the
no
pick,
way.
you know.
No way. No way. Uh,
So yeah.
yeah, I did notice one of the special guests that came on, they finally put like a note about what season of The Bachelor he was on, which was helpful because I feel like up until now, yes, thank you.
Yes, which way?
All of the special guests,
Season 28?
I mean, he's 28 years old and it's season 28. That's shocking. Um, yeah, I was happy they did that because I felt like they were starting to show us people that we were just expected to know. But I would think that a lot of fresh folks like you and me are watching The Bachelor for the first time and we have no idea. So that
Yeah.
was fun to
Yeah.
find that out.
And he's so handsome. I remember being
He's
like,
really
gosh,
cute.
I should have started watching The Bachelor a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. He's super cute. So
He's
that was fun.
a little cutie, and that's when they started doing the warm-ups in April. Convenient.
It. She fainted. I could not believe that. At first, I genuinely was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? What happened? And then, of course, you know, she got to lean on Gerry,
Oh,
and you know,
she loved that. And I, you know, I saw her go down and I was kind of like, oh, that's a little iffy. She's a little frail. And then
yeah.
then when she recovered and she was just like, I was like, that's typical April.
I
Typical.
know. I know. I know.
But
I liked their matching outfits. Like I loved the, you know, jewel slash, I guess, pastel tones and everyone. I thought that was really cute. And then for some reason I was starting to I was starting to think that Kathy schemed to be on the best team. Like she was like, I gotta be on Ellen's team. I gotta lock this down.
I didn't notice that she said that, did she?
No, she didn't say it. I was just wondering, how did they pair them off? Was it just like, did they pull them out of a hat? I don't think I remember.
Yeah, they didn't really say, but I also wondered, did they make up these names themselves? Because they have the purple pickleettes, who that's Susan and Teresa. Then they have the Picklicious paddles, which is Ellen and Kathy. Then there's Pinky Dinky, and that's April and Faith. And then Bitch and Kitchen, which where did that come
That
from?
makes, unless kitchen is a pickleball term that we're not aware of, which it probably is, because they
hope.
have
Because it makes no sense otherwise. But I love that those names were so cute.
Agreed. I think the next thing that we come to is Sandra.
Yeah.
So the two fake knees absolutely floored me. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay, how are you going to do this? But she, again, seems, you know, she's in a bunk bed. God bless. She's doing her thing. But then, which became a storyline, as a quasi storyline, to know that she is missing her daughter's wedding,
right,
was a shock. I could not believe this. I could not believe it. I genuinely, I thought Gerry, I actually thought he was going to be upset. I thought, because he's such a family man, and I was shocked, and he was kind of like understanding and was kind of touched by it. How did you feel about that?
I mean, I thought that too, that because there's so many people who did leave because of their family, and they were just like, I can't stay because I need to put family first. And he said, I really admire those women because I would make the same decision. And then Sandra has a millennial point of view. She's more Gen Z, like, forget them kids. I have to live my life.
Yeah.
I guess he was like, okay, that works too. We can just FaceTime them, I guess. So I thought that was definitely interesting.
Yeah, that was a little crazy to me. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But you know, she claims her daughter gave her her blessing, and then they FaceTimed, I think, which was kind of like a it was almost like a reward, like, oh, we're gonna do such a special surprise, and we're gonna call your daughter.
Which is cool. And then this way her daughter was able to be on The Bachelor. So I would take that as a wedding gift any day.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Claim to fame.
For sure. So that was a pivotal point. And then we get back to Teresa doing what Teresa does best.
Teresa's Teresing.
Teresa is Teresing. She's kissing and telling. And you know who's had enough? Kathy again.
Kathy. This is when they start with a zip it, and Gerry is kind of grilling Teresa. Teresa's using the word snip, not zip. I noticed. I think Kathy told her to zip it.
Yeah, she did.
And Teresa said she was telling me to snip it.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny. And I just thought, after so he's grilling Teresa. Yeah. Then he goes and grills Kathy to get her side of the story. And I just remember thinking, oh, Kathy's not getting a rose. Like, Gerry's cute. You know, this is not happening. I also forgot to mention, I think at the end of the pickleball tournament, Trisha was talking to Gerry. giving him these platitudes about like, don't look for the woman you can live with, start looking for the woman that you can't live without. And then that became kind of his mantra or his phrase that he was using. So
Yeah, we heard that several times throughout
yeah,
the show after she said this.
yeah, yeah,
Which is nice. I mean, that's a good way to think of things, but
yeah.
he can't live without any of these women. He's so nice.
At this point, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just, yeah. Other than Kathy, I'm like, I don't know who else he's gonna be getting rid of at this point.
Yeah.
Um, is the next thing the one-on-one date is kind of what I
And
have.
I think we finally get to the
Okay.
ATV ride. Yeah.
I just remember again thinking Leslie's body is amazing, like her legs, if I could only have them. And then just the fact that Gerry, like he has so many interests, like he has so many hobbies. He's like, oh, I love to go ATVing. You know, he plays pickle. Like, I guess when you're retired, you can get into all these sorts of things, but it just, I thought it was cute. It's like, oh, he's lives a full life. He's
Yeah.
very active
And
and
he's such a gentleman. Like the fact that she said he was constantly looking back to see if she was okay on her ATV, and then he finally was just like, "Get on with me." Um,
yes.
it just shows his character again. He's such a sweet guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're flipping back to the house at some point because they're playing Never Have I Ever
Yeah.
with ice cream, which I mean, taking this with me as a life skill. Never
Yeah.
have I ever with ice cream.
Yes. I figured if I do the paper, it'll show you the picture behind.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure. This was an interesting one. I found out some things I never really wanted to know or needed to know. But these women have lived a full life.
Yes, 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 yes. Um, someone kissed another woman's husband. Someone has had sex at work. Someone has had sort of dipping their toe into the queer world with kissing other women. So I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
is
For sure. That and while that was going on, there was some other frisky business happening out on the trail.
yes.
Yeah.
I could not believe. So yes, first of all, this was my first shot of the lion tattoo, which I can't quite get over.
Oh, I just noticed that.
Can't quite get over that. Need to know more about that. I need to know everything about it. Unfortunately, I know nothing right now, but I would love to know the story behind that. But yes, they were really making out. I mean, they were fully in this redneck swimming pool in the middle of a field, just going to town.
Yeah.
That was fun. I think this is when she kind of was sharing her love history. She had been divorced twice, which is really sad. And she said she's been single for 22 years. And I'm like, wow, like no hope for the rest of us. You've been single for 22 years. That's surprising. That's a long time for a beautiful person like that. So
I
yeah.
think other interesting thing that I've noticed is that each of these women brings out something different in his personality. I've realized with his interactions with Leslie, they're always a little spicy. They're a little bit like
Mhm.
they're less romantic and more like physically charged, I feel like.
Yes, 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 yes.
Whereas his interactions with the other women all have like their own theme going. Like
Yeah.
even when he's talking to what's the lady who reminds him of his wife? The one who looks like Liza Minnelli.
Oh, Susan.
Susan. Even
Yeah.
talking to Susan, it's like a familiarity there. I don't get
Yeah.
that he's like super like, oh, I'm so attracted. I just get like, I'm really familiar with you, you know?
Right. That's the one. I think that's what actually happens next. So I was really glad that they got one-on-one time because honestly, I don't think I'm shocked that Susan's still there because he doesn't really seem to have any one-on-one interactions with her. I was shocked that he got out a Crystal. I just didn't take him for a Crystal guy. And then also, him saying like, you remind me of my wife and she had these qualities. I don't even remember what the qualities were. I'm like, what did she do that made Gerry think that he even knows her to any extent. I was just kind of surprised about that. I also found out offline that Susan used to be married to a Phillies player, which
Really?
is really fun. So again, she's the Philly one on the show, so that's kind of fun for me. But yeah.
And then we also have Kathy eavesdropping on Susan.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, wow, like she finally got just a hot second with Gerry, just let her be. But yeah,
And Kathy looks for the drama. She's like, how can I insert myself where I don't need to be?
she does.
And
Yeah.
she definitely makes the show. So
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you. You've
Yeah,
done it
at the same time, exactly.
for
And
sure.
then I think before the rose ceremony, one of my kind of logistics questions is, how does it work with all of them getting that one-on-one time? Because it felt like they all kind of go in on their last ditch attempts,
Yeah.
like their last minute, like I gotta tell them this right before, and I gotta make sure I get this out. They must just have allocated time, because what I always think of is the Saturday Night Live skits where they poke fun at the Bachelor, and the women always say, "Can I steal him for a sec?" And then they like grab the guy and go to a bench or whatever and talk. "Can I steal him for a sec?" And they
Yeah.
all interrupt. No one's having to say that here, so clearly it's kind of probably all pre set up, but it's just funny how they're all just kind of like, "Oh my God, it's my last chance." And
And the desperation gets greater and greater each episode.
100%.
For sure. We did have another person drop out voluntarily because she just kind of read the tarot cards and was like, look, it doesn't seem like we're connecting in the same way that you're connecting with some of the other ladies. I'm out of here. So I don't know if that usually happens on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, but on the Golden Bachelors, women have families. They just know what they want and when it's not working, and they just,
Right.
no
time to waste. She's just kind of had this honest conversation that they don't have a connection, and so they're just moving on. So I did think, wow, that means 3 people are going to be going home. Like he's still going to, quote unquote, be getting rid of 2 more people. So I'm like, wow, we're kind of coming down to the final wire. I also have a note about Ellen's skin being amazing. Her skin is just very nice. So all of you comments.
That's interesting. No, okay, I didn't notice that.
Yes, it was very smooth. It was very smooth. At that age, it's a feat.
Well, I'll say, because April's skin is also very smooth, but I think what makes Ellen's more impressive is that it isn't clear that she's had a ton of work done, right?
True. And it could just be, they actually both, I think, live in Florida, and it's quite humid, and it helps with your skin.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And when I saw that there were only 4 roses on that tray, I definitely was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, we're down to the wire. I was a little confused. So I think Sandra
Was sick.
She automatically get, because she was sick, so should she just like get a rose?
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, because she wasn't there, I was like, well, I guess they just sent her home already.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, does she? Yeah, that was strange to me.
So Bachelor, Bachelorette hack, faint illness, and then you 2 will get a rose.
Great hack.
Yeah, they're not gonna get you dressed up to stand you in that lineup just to send you back home. So just yeah. Well played. Well played.
Exactly. And I'm just constantly shocked by Susan continuing. I'm like, what am I missing here? I just feel like I didn't see any interactions that warranted her moving on to the next round. But what do I know? Kathy, I mean, he doesn't like mean words, and she's gotta go.
She's gotta go. Kathy, you've been the villain we could only hope for. They did a great job casting, but it's your time. It's your time to get out of here.
So it could be tough, that's the only concern I think I had about the next episode. Like, well, what are we going to do now that we no longer have the main storyline drama?
No, we don't. And we don't have April. And even though April wasn't a huge, we didn't see a lot of chemistry between those 2. She was a character in her own right. And she
Indeed.
brought a lot to the table as well. So we lost two very important contestants.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
All righty.
Well, that's it.
On to the next one.
On to the next one. Join us for the next what are we at? Episode 5?
Next one is episode 5. Yes.
Next one's episode 5. All right.
Sounds good. Bye.